All right, here we go. Lesson 1, tangent properties. Before we get going, there's two things I just want to review. In a full circle, there's 360 degrees. So if there's 360 degrees in a circle, that means in a half circle or in a straight line, there's 180 degrees. Okay, that's an important thing that we're going to use in a little bit here. So the first thing we're going to go over is tangent properties. So a tangent to a circle is perpendicular to the radius at the point of tangency. This is a lot of words, but basically this is a radius. And a tangent line meets a radius at 90 degrees and touches the circle at one spot. So you can form this straight line that touches the circle at one point, and that means it's going to be 90 degrees to where the radius is. Now this is an important concept because we just did Pythagorean theorem, and if we have a 90-degree angle, we can join the other two parts to form a right angle triangle. All right, and if we have a right angle triangle, we can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so here's an example. We've got this radius, and it's meeting this tangent at 90 degrees. This is a tangent line. So if it's meeting at 90 degrees, we can use Pythagorean theorem. So this is a short side, this is also a short side, which means we're looking for c. So let's use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. So that equals 25, and 144 is 169 equals c squared, which means if we take the square root, that x is going to equal 13. If we're taking a look at b, one nice thing about radii, is that they're the same in any direction. So if that's 5, that's also 5. And this line is the same line for these two triangles, right? And if it's the same line for these two triangles, that means 12 and 12 are also equal. So x has to equal 12 here. Here's another example. We have this radius, all right, and we have this tangent line. So that's meeting at 90 degrees, just like in the first example. So the difference here is we're actually looking for the length of this tangent, okay? So we have the longest side, we know C, we know A, and we're looking for B. So in this case, we need to subtract to find that side. So we get 13 squared minus 6 squared is equal to B squared. So 169 minus 36 is equal to B squared. And 169 minus 36 is 133. And if you take the square root of that, you get 11.5. So this length here is 11.5. Here's another example. Here's a radius, and it's meeting this tangent line at 90 degrees. So we're actually looking for the hypotenuse here, which is C. We know A, we know B. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 12 squared plus 8 squared is c squared, and 12 squared plus 8 squared gives us 208. And if you take the square root of that, you'll get 14.4. So this line here is 14.4. Here's one that doesn't involve a tangent line, but it involves a straight line. Okay, so this is a straight line here. Now, if we go back to that first thing I made you note, that a full circle is 360 and a straight line is 180, let's go back to this example. So this full angle here is going to be 180 degrees. Okay. Now if that full angle is 180 degrees, what we can do is we can do 180 minus 47 and minus 47. So subtracting those two smaller angles. And if you do that, you end up with 86 degrees. So that missing angle right here really is a different color. This angle here is 86 degrees. And to figure out, it also works the other way. If we do it 180 minus 86, that equals 94. And if we divide 94 by 2, we get back to the 47 and the 47. That's there. Here's a PAT question. All right, the gong shown below is 30 centimeters in diameter. All right, so all the way across is 30 centimeters. That's good to know. That's not showing up very well. That's 30 centimeters. And it hangs by a chain from a nail. The total length of the chain is 18 centimeters. So all the way across is 18, which means that this is 9, and that's also 9. The lengths of the chain on each side of the nail are equal to each other and form a tangent to the gong. So it means, if it's a tangent to the gong, that it's going to meet at 90 degrees. Okay. What else can we figure out here? If the full diameter is 30, that means that this is 15 centimeters from there to there. So really we have a side length 9, this is 15, and we've got a right angle triangle, and we want to figure out how far above the top of the gong is the nail to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. So we're going to figure out this full distance there, okay? And that's c. So we're going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 9 squared plus 15 squared equals c squared. 9 squared plus 15 squared is 306. And if you take the square root, you're going to get 17.5. So the entire distance here is 17.5, but we don't want the entire distance, we want just this portion here. So if I kind of separate this line, we've got a full line from the center of the circle to the nail. All right, and if you remember, the radius is 15, and we just found the entire distance to be 17.5. We can do 17.5 minus 15 and end up at 2.5 centimeters. So that's it for the lesson. You can get going on classwork.